All right, so let's talk about dating interracially, interculturally, if that's a word, intergenerationally, if that's a word. Let's just talk about dating someone who is completely different from you. So I recently made a video and I showed myself in a supermarket being followed by a security guard. In this video, I made both the security guard look bad and I also made my partner look bad. That is on purpose. I have showed you all some of La Dolce Vita here in Italy. But I've also showed you all the not so good stuff in Italy. And it might not be the videos that go the most viral, but they are still the videos that I have made. You can see them on my channel, you can scroll down. I talk about the good stuff, I talk about the bad stuff, I talk about what you will experience here in Italy. Now, can you all find yourself trusting a person who only shows you the good part of a situation? Could you do that? Can you find yourself trusting a person who only shows you the good stuff? Now, I don't just talk about that here on TikTok. I also talk about it to universities here in Florence. And I also mentor people who come to Florence of different races and try to give them advice on what they can do to enjoy Italy in the short time or in the long time of them being here. So in that video, of course, I showed you all the security guard going around, following me. I was annoyed, I was frustrated with the security guard, but also with my partner. I try to be as transparent as possible on this channel. So if I made it seem as if my partner was always supportive of everything I did in every single situation that I've put him in and vice versa, it would not be honest at all. It wouldn't be honest. So when you're in relationships, one of the most valuable things that you can have is open communication and transparency about finances, about religion, about kids, about emotions, about everything. And thankfully, my partner and I have that. So making this video because I had another content creator, another Black girl in Italy, who made a video talking about red flags of an interracial relationship, which I agree with a lot of what she said. And I definitely think that anyone who is in an interracial relationship should make sure that their partner is there to support them. Their partner is there to understand their feelings, all of those things. But not every single time your partner does not support you, that does not mean that the relationship is bad. And I saw her video and I was kind of looking at it like, why do I feel like I'm a victim here? I am not a victim. So I've talked about, of course, La Dolce Vita here, and I've also talked about things that are important when you are dating an Italian, a person who, and I made a video not too long ago responding to someone who wanted advice about dating an Italian. And I let them know that things of your culture are important, just like the things of their culture. We are in a bubble. If you are here in Italy, and most of the time you are in a bubble, you go to the same supermarkets, you go to the same restaurants, and you have pretty much like a ton of Italians are redundant in a lot of the things they do. Every summer, for the most part, they do the same vacation. They go to the same restaurants. They see the same people. They are creatures of habit. So on that particular day, we did throw off our habits, which also was a surprise for the response that my partner had that day. So what do you do when something like that happens? You talk about it. You talk about it. Yes, there are red flags. There are red flags for anything in a relationship. There are red flags for literally anything in a relationship. But what is the best way to handle something? Like I could just sit there and say like, you know what? This guy did not support me and I'm out of here. I could do that, but I am aware that I have a very supportive partner in a lot of ways. And in this particular way, he did not support me. So we talked about it. And not talking about it in that moment necessarily where a person can attribute how you are feeling to your emotions. Like, you know, a lot of times women will respond and a guy might say something like, oh, you're overreacting. Like they think that we're doing the most. But in that moment, to sit there and say like, okay, this is bothering me. You can feel that it's still bothering you. This is something that I need to address. Communication makes everything 10 times better at relationships. So in this case, I like to look at it like not as like a red flag, like let's get that person off the field. It's more of like a yellow flag of like, what is going on here? This is something that needs to be reviewed and discussed like adults, instead of like saying like, you know what, this is something that we shouldn't be together over. Because if we really think about it in relationships, there are tons of things that couples fight over. Finances, religion, and children are the main three reasons that Dave Ramsey has said relationships end. And I could see it. Those three things, a lot of it deals with communication. Are you spending the right amount of money? Do we have the same ideas of how we want to raise our children? Religious wise, are you willing, okay, if I'm Buddhist and you're Muslim, does that mean that we cannot get along and that what I believe in, what you believe in are going to conflict and we cannot coexist? Those are some things that you have to communicate in a relationship. It's really important. And yes, there are moments of La Dolce Vita that I share with you all that I think are important to share. A lot of people want you to come here and to be like absolutely positively miserable. And there are so many great things about Italy that I think everyone should know about. But there are also the parts that are not so great that people should know about as well. Come to a country like Italy that is so much in the future, but also frozen in time. When they do that shit from the frozen in time, you feel like a little awkward. There was a need to clarify the importance of communication in relationships. Red flags are everywhere in relationships. There is something that your partner does not do that if it was someone else, or if you didn't love them, or if you didn't have kids with them, or if you didn't feel that you were, stuck, whether it be emotionally or financially, whatever, you might leave them. There's no such thing as a perfect relationship. Me pointing out the security guard's flaws and my partner's flaws, I'm showing you both sides of personal life and outside life in Italy that you will most likely experience. You'll have a situation in general where you feel that you have to have a conversation so that you're on the same page. So I just wanted to comment and say that because the Vita is not so dolce. I've talked about that before. And I think it's good to clarify and to express and to share with you all, whatever, the importance of communication in relationships, and that there is no perfect relationship. Whether it be a perfect house or nothing is perfect. And so